Rise and shine. 6 a.m. and your hand can't make it to the alarm clock before the voices in your head start telling you that it's too early, too dark, and too cold to get out of bed. Aching muscles lie still in rebellion, pretending not to hear your brain commanding them to move. A legion of voices are shouting their unanimous permission for you to hit the snooze button and go back to dreamland. But you didn't ask their opinion. The voice you've chosen to listen to is one of defiance. A voice that says there was a reason you set that alarm in the first place. So sit up, put your feet on the floor, and don't look back, because we've got work to do. Welcome to the grind. It's tougher. So just make sure this is something you want, because the easy way out will always be there, ready to wash you away. All you have to do is pick up your feet. But you aren't going to, are you? With each step comes the decision to take another. You're on your way now, but this is no time to dwell on how far you've come. You're in a fight against an opponent you can't see, but oh, you can feel him on your heels, can't you? Feel him breathing down your neck. You know what that is? That's you. Your fears, your doubts, and insecurities all lined up like a firing squad, ready to shoot you out of the sky. But don't lose heart. While they're not easily defeated, they are far from invincible. Remember, this is the grind, the battle royale between you and your mind, your body, and the devil on your shoulder who's telling you that this is just a game. This is just a waste of time. Your opponents are stronger than you. Drown out the voice of uncertainty with the sound of your own heartbeat. Burn away your self-doubt with a fire lit beneath you. Remember what we're fighting for, and never forget that momentum is a cruel mistress. She can turn on a dime with the smallest mistake. She is ever searching for the weak place in your armor, that one tiny thing you forgot to prepare for. So as long as the devil is hiding the details, the question remains, is that all you got? Are you sure? And when the answer is yes, when you've done all you can to prepare yourself for battle, then it's time to go forth and boldly face your enemy, the enemy within. Only now you must take that fight into the open, into hostile territory. You're a lion in a field of lions, all hunting the same elusive prey with a desperate starvation that says victory is the only thing that can keep you alive. So believe that voice that says you can run a little faster, and you can throw a little harder, and that for you, the laws of physics are merely a suggestion. Luck is the last dying wish of those who want to believe that winning can happen by accident. Sweat, on the other hand, is for those who know it's a choice. So decide now, because destiny waits for no man. And when your time comes and 1,000 different voices are trying to tell you you're not ready for it, listen instead to that lone voice of dissent. The one that says you are ready, you are prepared. It's all up to you now. So rise and shine.
How easy and how convenient is it for us to blame everything and everybody for the things that we have going on in our lives? There is a such thing as you being a positive and a great person with the best of intentions towards everybody, and shit is rough and you just can't get a break. But most of you are waking up every day looking for pain, dysfunction, drama, unemployment, being broke, struggling, dropping every excuse in the book about your childhood and the problems and dysfunction that you grew up in that's stopping you from becoming successful. You don't like your friends, so why are you still fucking with them? You don't trust your managers, agents, and lawyers, so why are they still there? Do you really expect your life and career to be any different from messing with the same things, people, and situations? That's all I'm saying. Stop being a lazy, bum-ass person that's full of excuses, sitting around on the pity potty, coming up with every excuse in the world as to why you ain't winning. You are the reason you're not winning. You keep messing with negative, evil, and dysfunctional people and expecting positive results. It's time you get off the pity potty. Stop complaining about being out of shape when you never go to the gym. Stop looking at your stomach when you get out of the shower and your body and complaining about the way you look when you're eating everything in sight and never going to the gym. You are the reason you look the way you look. You are the reason you're unemployed. You are the reason why your surroundings are so dysfunctional and negative. You could still be in the hood, broke and fucked up, and living a peaceful life. It's a choice. We are being raised in a generation of people that come up with every excuse in the book as to why they are not winning. You have every excuse in the book why you're not spending time with your kids. Fathers, I'm talking to you. Because you're able to create a child doesn't mean that you're a father. It doesn't mean that you understand the concept of fatherhood. It's time to stop coming up with excuses why 5, 6, 7 months and even years have went by without you seeing your child. It's wrong, and it's only the kids that are suffering in the end. Excuses sound best to the people that's making them up. You got every excuse in the world. That's why your shit ain't moving. That's why ain't nothing changed and nothing will change. Because you have convinced yourself that everything is wrong, everything is negative, and nothing will change. And guess what? It won't change. Change your mind and it will change your life. Change. If nothing around you changes, change the things that are around you. I'm tired of it. I'm frustrated with the amount of people that are not successful because they have thought their way into a depression. You have thought your way into negativity and misery. You have thought your way into holding on to a dude or a girl that you broke up with a year or two ago and you're still sad and miserable. They done moved on with their life. It's all in the mind. Change your mind and it will change your life. You just have to wake up. You just have to break that negative spirit. You have to break through all of that shit that you're carrying. I don't feel sorry for you. You feel sorry for yourself. That's the problem. Even when positive people are trying to give you all this good energy, you have tricked your mind to turn every positive thing that they say into something negative. Every time they say anything to try and motivate you and inspire you, you turn every negative thought and you turn every positive thought, every positive intention, everything that they trying to boost your spirits up, you flip it, shake it, manipulate it, and you are so determined to be negative and miserable. It's unbelievable. But it's a new day. It's a new day. My message isn't to tear you down and contribute to your negativity. My intention is to just say, enough is enough. God isn't done with you. God is not done with you. That's why you're still here. But I actually have a problem with the fact that there are people out here that could be more successful, but you have thought your way into a depression. You have thought your way into gravitating and moving into the direction of anything and anybody that's negative. Everything about your life that you've decided that you want it for yourself is so negative, but yet you're expecting to produce positive results. It's not going to happen, people. The outcome of your life and your career is based on the choices that you've made. I love you. I'm asking that you get off the pity potty and stop feeling sorry for yourself. For every level, there's another devil. For every level, there's another devil. Get off the pity potty. It's your season. It's your moment. Right now. The question is, are you just going to look at this video and decide, wow, that was some powerful shit, and do the same fucking thing?
I'm going to tell you something that every successful person has to do. including you. Believe it or not, every successful person in this world has jumped. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. You are going to have to jump. You cannot just exist in this life. You have got to try to live. If you are waking up thinking that there's got to be more to your life than it is, man, believe that it is. Believe in your heart of hearts that it is. But to get to that life, you're going to have to jump.
When you become the right person, what I mean by the right person is once you identify who you are and you begin to separate yourself from the masses and you begin to see your individuality, when you begin to see your talents, when you begin to see your personal skills. When you were created with a specific purpose, a specific design. I don't care if you was born and your parents didn't claim you, you still special. So I need you to be you. Number one, you got to catch this. Number one, value. All right? When you become who you are, when you become the person that you were created to be, designed to be who you were designed to be, when you become an individual, what you do is you take yourself and you start separating yourself from other people. What you need to do to get to a place in your life where you blow up is one, to become the right person. Because when you become the right person, what you do is you show your worth, you show your value. When you become the right person, what you do is you start separating yourself from other people. You begin to have a certain uniqueness. As long as you're following other people, as long as you're being a copycat, you will never, ever be the best copycat in the world, but you will be the best you could be.
You got to take that gift that's packed away on your back. You got to jump off that cliff and pull that cord.
I dare you, number two, to invest in yourself. That's right, I dare you to invest time. I dare you to be alone. I dare you to spend an hour getting to know yourself.
If you don't ever use it, you're going to just go to work. And if you're getting up going to work on a job every day that you hate going to, that ain't living, man. You just existed. At one point in time, you ought to see what living's like. But the only way to see what living like, you got to jump. And here's the problem. Let me tell you something. Your parachute will not open right away. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you it did, but it don't. When you jump, it's not going to open right away. You're going to hit them rocks. But eventually, the parachute has to open.
The biggest thing you should fear in your life is that you waste your life. This precious thing that you've got, this one chance, this one instance, this one shot that you get. Just one. Do you realize what this life is? I feel like people don't really understand what life is. I mean, what is life? Look at your hands. Like, look around you. It's amazing. It's pure magic.
The average guy, he lacks the skills to do anything productive in his life. If he decides to take on a new diet, he'll drop it. He probably won't even finish reading the diet book. If he decides to go to the gym and he's tired after he gets home from work, he says, I'm tired. I am not going to the gym today because I'm tired. My emotions tell me not to go to the gym, so I'm not going to the gym because my emotions said so.
A lot of people simply do not have standards. They're willing to let their life slide. They're willing to let their life just ooze on by. And they lack a sense of urgency about the direction that their life is going.
Is what you want to live a nice, happy life with a simple family and a 9-to-5 job and then a retirement? That is what you're going to do with your one life?
What are some examples of things that are pathetic? Not having your health handled, fucking pathetic. Not living in a situation that you're comfortable in because you were lazy, fucking pathetic. And how about not having the type of dating life that you want or sex life that you want? If you don't have that, it is fucking pathetic.
That's it? That's what you're gonna do? You're gonna go, you're gonna punch the clock for 8-9 hours a day for 40 years of your life, doing work you have no emotional connection to, doing work that isn't serving the universe or the world in any especially important way, and then you're going to do that over and over and over again.
So the reason why people don't put action behind their work and their thought process and what they're saying is because they lose the motivation. They lose that fire inside.
And beyond that, just what is this reality that we inhabit? It's like pure magic. It really is. And yet what do you do with it? You shit all over it. You take this magical thing, and what have you done with it? You've made yourself bored and miserable and depressed and whining and complaining and bitching and moaning and acting the victim and being unmotivated and being petty, worrying about stupid things, holding negative judgments and opinions of others, taking all of this for granted. Imagine right now that I told you that you only have till the end of today to live.
If there's anything that'll shift your life, that'll get you to thrive in a difficult situation, is take some massive action. Try something else. Change it, try it, move it.
If you're not having a lot of fun in life, you could try things like going to the comedy club on weekends. You could go out with buddies and joke around. You know, you could watch things that are funny to get that into your neurology a little bit better. Do things that make you happy. Sort that out externally, but then also shift your attitude internally. I'm probably what you call damaged goods, if we're gonna be honest. You know, mentally speaking, my parents are both very depressed and messed up. And my sister is kind of depressed and messed up. And I'm naturally kind of depressed and messed up. But rather than sitting around making a victim identity out of it, like most people in my extended family did, I worked on everything that was within my control.
Don't let this year be like last. And if last year was great, still don't let it be that way. Raise the standard. If your life is perfect and extraordinary, you darn well know you're not going to be happy unless you keep making it better. That's what makes us feel alive. It's not what we get that makes us happy. It's who we become and what we're able to give because we become more. Progress equals happiness. If you can start to make progress, if you get yourself going, even if it's not perfect, if it doesn't work, you know what to do. Just change your approach. If that doesn't work, change your approach.
I want you to change your goals. I want you to take whatever goals you have now, make them less about you, make them more about the beauty of life. What's your work doing that's doing something beautiful to advance the universe that you're living in? What is that? Are you proud of that? Are you proud of the work you're doing? Are you proud of your creative output? If not, set some noble goals. I challenge you to live a noble life.
I say thank you 1,000 times a fucking day. I say thank you to everybody, all the time. To my staff, to everybody, man. I'm like, dude, you're doing great. Thank you so much. Shit where I did 90% of the shit. But just because that person did 10% of the shit, I'm like, thanks, man. Thank you. Who am I, when I say thank you, who am I really complimenting? I'm saying, when I say thank you, the translation is, I'm awake. I'm grateful. I'm fucking awesome. I'm loving life. I realize that this is 5 precious seconds of my fucking life, and I'm gonna acknowledge it in a positive way.
The truth is, there's only one thing that will make you rich and wealthy right now, and that's gratitude. If you're grateful right now for what you have in your life, or for the little things, or you take a moment just to appreciate everything in your life, then you can have that feeling of being rich and wealthy right now today. You know, the happiest moments in my life have never been when I've made a certain amount of money, or when I buy a car or get a nice apartment or anything like that. It's always been the little things, and whenever I've taken a moment to feel grateful. The moment that you're grateful, you're rich, and it can change your entire life. There's so many little things right now in your life that you could be happy about, you could feel grateful for, you could really appreciate and take in. You know, being grateful for a raindrop, being grateful for certain people in your life, being grateful for your heart that beats 100,000 times a day, even without you having to think about it. You know, even while you're sleeping, it's always beating and keeping you alive. There's certain processes of our body that are so incredible. If you have your health in your body, you're rich. If you have this incredible vehicle, you're so abundant beyond anything. And most people take this wealth, our physical body, for granted.
Safety, comfort zones are dead zones because your true potential will never be matched. Will never be matched. Every hero you guys had was called an idiot, crazy, a loser. You must break society's status quo. Status quo is normality. It's alive but not living. It's death on a stick, guys. The belief of the individual can overcome thousands of followers. One person with a belief overrides thousands of people with just intent. Your life, guys, is not about making money. It's not about having the titles. It's not about having the hot trophy wife. Your life is about a moment to come. It's inevitable. We cannot stop it from coming. Right now, we have the most valuable asset on earth on our side, time. But it's running out. And right now, you guys are sitting there. And to make that first step towards greatness is the hardest step. But there is one thing harder than that, my friends. It's later in life. As you look back on your life, the windows of opportunity has closed. Your ability is no longer present. And you think back that you could have been great. Right now, you had the ability to never have that debate inside your head. Because that's the debate you can never win. You can go back and forth, but there's no verdict. The jury's always going to be in a jury room. It's never going to come back saying, you did okay. What you will do is you will bury that deep inside. You won't tell anyone that you could have been this. You will be second best to your true potential. And you'll live your life fine.
Dreams without goals remain dreams, just dreams, and ultimately fuel disappointment. Goals on the road to achievement cannot be achieved without discipline and consistency.
And the difference between a champion and someone who's forgotten is that a champion shows up. That's the only thing. Every day shows up. Gives himself a chance to make a difference.
I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was the greatest of all times when I beat Sunday Liston. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time. I told you I'm the real champion. I told you I'm the champion of the world. All of you bow. All of my critics crawl. All of you suckers who write the Ring magazine.
So many people out there fail not because they don't have the ability. It's because they don't have the heart to go through adversity. You're having a shitty day. Wish you never woke up. If failure wasn't one man's strength over 1,000 times of failed, then these lights never would have lit for Thomas Edison. There is so much power in failure because you learn so much from it. The paths that you travel are not paths that are beaten. That's already been done. The willpower, the belief, the confidence. And just like you go to the gym and you lift your muscles, right? You have to exhaust them to grow them. Perishable, use it or lose it. Your confidence must be the same way. It must be tested every single day. The indomitable will, if you have a belief you can do something, the only way you grow that, like in the gym, you grow your muscles by actually exercising them. You know, you grow the love of you and your wife by caring for them and having their back. To grow the individual will to become something, you must get comfortable with fear and failure. They must be your best friends. They're the only one that moves that needle of life. It's the unknown about the bee that gets me up in the morning. It's always a challenge. And as soon as a challenge is lost, guys, your will is dead. There's no reason to get up in the morning. We all have the ability to do anything. There's people in here far superior than me, but there's no one in here that's going to work harder than me. So many people out there fail, not because they don't have the ability. It's because they don't have the heart to go through adversity. There is so much power in failure because you learn so much from it. You think someone's going to come to you and give you a highlighted version script on how to live your life? There's people in here far superior than me, but there's no one in here that's going to work harder than me. Or maybe there is.
I very often watch a lot of young people sort of meander around without any idea about why they're doing what they're doing. I mean, to want and to be ambitious and to want to be successful is not enough. That's just desire. To know what you want, to understand why you're doing it, to dedicate every breath in your body to achieve. If you feel you have something to give, if you feel that your particular talent is worth developing, is worth caring for, then there's nothing you can't achieve.
Do something you're very passionate about.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it and you don't really love it, you're going to give up.
So how do you start a business with no money under the worst conditions that your backer doesn't want to give you a dime? What do? Get ready for a lot of rejection, and at the same exact time, do the things others don't want to do. Do what's necessary, do what it takes, no matter what it is, and try not to hurt anybody along the way.
I worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's what I cared about. I cared about solving problems, being successful. Anytime an obstacle presented itself, I used it to my advantage, made it work. And I never heard the word no. If I heard the word no, it meant maybe. Then I made maybe yes.
Take what you've got. Your assets are your energy. Your assets are your willingness to just not be told no. The harder it is, the tougher it is, the bigger the challenge to get in, the bigger the opportunity behind. The opportunities behind are endless.
I really, really believe in getting rich. I believe in people creating wealth for themselves.
Develop the habits. You've got the brain power, you got the energy, but develop the habits of success.
If you know exactly what you want to be, you need to spend as much time with people that are actually that already.
We become our standards in many ways. If you are surrounded by B players or average performers, and that is your standard, then your mindset will operate at the standard that is offered to you by the people around you. I mean, we do become our social orbit.
Don't allow anyone, friend, family, acquaintance, teachers, whoever it is, don't allow anyone to tell you that what you are dreaming for yourself and your family is not possible. It is possible. Don't be one of those people 20 years from now are going to be walking around in a 9-to-5 job, miserable and angry and bitter.
What fear is stopping you in your tracks and burning the soles of your feet? What if conquering that fear, whatever it is that keeps you from being what the Creator intended for you? What if you could unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes to that?
You will receive from the world who you become. But the doorway to success, I suggest to you, swings inward, not outward. And the best way to have a game-changing life, and the best way to have a world-class lifestyle, and the best way to change the world is to change yourself. I mean, we get from life who we become. To have the results of a game changer, you need to start thinking and behaving like a game changer. And that means thinking like a game changer, populating your mindset with the best books, with the best ideas, with the best conversations, behaving in ways that most people don't behave. Again, you want to have the results very few people have, you've got to start doing things that very few people do. Turn off the television, delete the naysayers, stop gossiping and start producing, eat better food, run longer runs, shift from a focus on what's not working to a focus on what's working. I mean, you really want to install a whole new series of mindsets and a whole new series of rituals that very few people are doing.
In the end, luck plays a very important part in how successful you are, but the harder you work and the longer you work, the luckier you're going to be.
I've always thought that each person invented himself for whatever reasons, through whatever circumstance, through whatever he has gone through, that we are each a figment of our own imagination.
Things that we have to do as we're pursuing our dreams and our goals is that we have to know that failure is not an option. You know, and you got to hear this one. This one is important because you've got to tell yourself, despite again, the circumstances, the situations, you have to tell yourself that, listen to me, I'm not going anywhere until I get the goal. Like until I make my dreams become a reality. I don't believe in the word procrastination. Like, I don't really believe in that word. I told a young lady in Australia who told me she was a procrastinator. I said, look, if I told you to meet me here tomorrow at 5 a.m. and I'm gonna give you $3 million, where would you be? She said, I'm gonna be right there at 4:59. Ready to get that $3 million. And I said, so then there's no such thing as procrastination. What it is it's not important to you. Right? It's not meaningful to you. It's not something that's urgent to you. And when something is not urgent, you put it off. So yep, you're in school, yes. You probably are getting grades, etc. But if it's not meaningful to you, if it's not important to you, then you're not gonna make it a priority. So what you have to do is find out, how can you make it meaningful? How can you make it purposeful? How can you make it stick? And when you can find that out, I promise you, you'll get up early, you'll get there first, and you'll do whatever it takes to make that goal a reality. So for me, no such thing as procrastination. It's a such thing as it's not a priority to you. You said that you were going to graduate this year. You were going to finish college this year. You said you were going to run a marathon, right? This is what you said out of your mouth. All I'm doing is I'm saying, listen to me, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. I didn't tell you all year what you should do. But what I did tell you is don't talk about it, be about it. You should be tired, all right? You should be tired of talking about it, and you should be at a place where you're doing something about it, all right? The reason why you have not become successful, the reason why you are not like a locomotive, the reason why you're not having success in your life is because every single day you got an excuse. And I need you to do me a favor. I made my last excuse yesterday. My last reason. I came up with my last reason yesterday of why I can't do what I'm supposed to do. And so I need you to do me a huge favor. All your excuses, all your good reasons, everything that's keeping you from doing what you're supposed to do, I need you to put it behind you and say, yesterday was the last day for that foolishness. Yesterday was the last day to say, I don't have enough money to do this. I don't have enough money to go to school. I don't have enough money to get a computer. I don't have what it takes. I'm not smart enough, right? I don't write well enough. I don't sing well enough. That's why I didn't do my CD. I didn't write my book because I'm not on that level. Listen to me. You better hear what I'm saying. Yesterday was the last day that I want to hear an excuse. It's over with. I was embarrassed. I said, listen to me, no more defeats. No more defeats, man. No more. I was tired of feeling defeated. I was tired of talking about I was going to do it and didn't do it. And I hated the feeling of when somebody asked me, yo, E, where the book? I ain't got it. I was tired of getting beat. I was tired of defeat. I said, I'm going to get it done. Every time you set this big goal, you never get it accomplished because you never break it up in manageable pieces. This is it. I'm talking about procrastinators. You still have time. Don't quit. Don't give up. You still have time. You can do it. You can make it happen, but you can't do it procrastinating. You can't do it talking about it, all right? So I just want to go back and recap because I want to make sure you hear what I'm saying. But I dare you, I double dare you to do exactly what you said you were going to do when the year started because it's not too late.
I wrote myself a check for $10 million, and I gave myself 5 years, or 3 years maybe, and dated it Thanksgiving 1995. And I put it in my wallet, and I kept it there, and it deteriorated and deteriorated. Just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million on, I think it was Dumb and Dumber.
Spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. I'm saying I'm the proof that you can ask the universe for it. My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that that was possible for him. And so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant. And when I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job. And our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love.
I've been asleep, like all of us. I've been asleep because I've been distracted. It's nice to get a load of money. It's nice to get a load of attention.
Went to bed last night, had all these ideas about how you're going to get up this morning. It's going to be different. Things are going to be different. Today you're going to start taking steps towards doing some of those projects that you know will get you closer to living that dream life you keep playing over and over in your head. Different from the practical life that you got to get up and meet every day. To go to the cubicle infested world and work a job just to pay the bills. Put gas in the gas tank to take you places where you don't really want to go, to be around people you don't enjoy being around. Put groceries in a refrigerator, groceries that keep you fat and lazy, keep you away from being healthy and fit in your life.
What wakes you up? What drives you? Why are you playing this game?
Pay the mortgage on a house that doesn't inspire you. It's just a nuisance and you hate coming home to. And you know what makes it even worse? Is that you cower. Before you got from the bedroom to the kitchen, Mr. Ugly was there. Mr. Resistance, right in your ass, telling you what you were going to do different than what you want to do and what the inner voice inside of you tells you need to do with your life. Telling you that those things that you believe matter and have a purpose in your life really don't. That the silly, the superficial, the stupid does.
There are those of you right now, you should have cut a CD. You should have wrote a book. You should have got in school and got that degree. You should have started your own business. There's so many things you should have done. You should have done, but you didn't do it because you're scared. You believe that you said scared of what? I ain't scared. You are scared. You are scared. You're scared of failure. You're scared to make a mistake. You're scared that you're not perfect.
You've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it.
And I realized somebody else trying to do exactly what I'm trying to do. Are you a gazelle or are you a lion? What wakes you up? What drives you? Why are you playing this game? But when the lion wakes up, it don't need nobody to push it. It pushes itself.
Mr. Resistance will be there every morning, noon, and night. And while you are sleeping, riding your ass, kicking your ass, unless you turn around and you start throwing punches.
What's your purpose for playing this game? Why are you doing what you're doing? And when you know why you're doing what you're doing, you saw my t-shirt, no alarm clock needed. My passion wakes me up. I got up at 3 o'clock this morning, no clock. I ain't used the clock in 20 years. My passion wakes me up. My drive wakes me up. What wakes you up? What drives you? Why are you playing this game? Are you a gazelle or are you a lion? I'm telling you today, you ain't gotta be perfect. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You don't have to be perfect to get what you want, to do what you want, to have what you want, to be what you want. You don't have to be perfect. It's a lie. I'm trying to perfect the now. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm trying to look at each second and make sure I'm doing something each second. I want to make sure each minute I'm doing something each minute. I want to make sure every hour I'm doing something every hour. I want to make sure in that day I'm getting something done. On Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, that I'm effective. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect, but what you have to do is perfect the day. That's what I want you to do. You'll never be perfect. As long as you're alive, there's always progress. You can always get better, but listen to me. I want you to practice perfecting your 24 hours. You hear me? 60 minutes in a day, 1,440 seconds. That's what I want you to concentrate on. I want you to concentrate on the now. When I wake up in the morning and I'm working on my speech, when I get up in the morning and I'm answering a phone call, when I get up in the morning, listen to me very closely, and I'm writing down every idea I dreamed about, every movie. I can't even watch a movie now. I can't even listen to music without writing something down. I get my iPod, I get my iPhone, and I'm writing everything down. It's right here, everything. And so guess what? Every week I read, every time I'm practicing, every book I read, everything I do to make me better. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm actually in a meeting without even being in a meeting. You missed what I just said. I'm actually in a meeting when people are sitting around and saying they need to bring Eric Thomas in. They don't even know I'm in the room with him. You say, E, how are you in San Francisco? How are you in Los Angeles? How are you in Detroit? How are you in Chicago? You can't be in every place. Yes, I can. By doing what I'm supposed to do with each second, by doing what I'm supposed to do with each minute, by doing what I'm supposed to do with each hour. I need you to stop trying to do it big. I need you to fall in love with small, and guess what? Big gonna be attracted to you. The now. You master the now. You become an expert of the now. I'm guaranteeing you, you're gonna blow it.
There is something better for you to do with your time than even being here. Right now, I am Mr. Resistance. I'm distracting you from doing the work you need to do. Get the fuck out of here and do the work of your life.
Stop being this high school dropout. Stop giving up. Stop sleeping on the street. Stop walking up and down Finkel Avenue like you ain't got nothing, and get your GED. Stop being afraid to take a test. Stop being afraid to go to college because your daddy didn't go and your mama didn't go. I don't do well in math. You're right. You ain't never studied. I'm not good in writing because you have never written before. You can't get through a writing class and you got tutor after tutor, resource after resource. The problem is you ain't never felt no pain before. You're soft. It's a soft generation. You quit on everything. You have to give it everything you got. No more TV, no more parties, no more playing. If you don't have a 4.0, what you need to be doing is studying. You a sophomore, you like, E, I'm just a sophomore, or I'm just a freshman. Like I got time, to put it in another year. But you don't realize this, that the opportunity that you need is in your sophomore year. It's not in your senior year. Listen to me, you're running out of time. The next time you give a low effort, right? You give it 70% or 50% or 30%. I want you to think about what you're thinking about when your effort is low. And you're probably thinking, I got to versus I get to. Listen to me. If your effort is low, you're probably not thinking about the opportunity. You're probably thinking about the obligation. Because success is allergic to average. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? Success and average don't have nothing to do with each other. So you can't say you want to be successful. You can't say there's certain dreams and goals. There are things you want to have and things you want to be if you are still average. You got to get to the point where you get allergic to average. You don't think average. You don't perform average. Success and average have absolutely nothing to do with each other. That's what I'm telling you. Your teacher can't stand average. Nobody really likes average. And the problem with a lot of you is you're not allergic to average, all right? You gotta do me a huge favor, man. You lying to yourself. On one point, you said you wanna be great. You wanna do great things. You wanna have greatness. You wanna be great. Listen to me, but on the other hand, for real, you comfortable with average. You cannot be average any longer. Why? Because average attracts average. When I'm telling you to be great, because when you're great, you attract great. When you're average, you attract average. So I need you to do me a favor. I need you to get off average, right? I need you to get off average. You ain't got to rely on nobody to get off average but you. I don't care what nobody else in your family is doing. I don't care what your teacher's doing. I don't care what's going on in your school, what kind of school you have, what kind of job you have. Just because the people are average around you don't mean you got to be average. You either here or you're there. There's no middle ground. And so what I'm telling you is that you can't count the cost. When you want something bad, you can't count the cost. Because if you count the cost and you see how much it costs, you might quit. You might give up. So you got to go in knowing that I don't count the cost. I do as many push-ups as it takes, as many sit-ups as it takes, as many reps as it takes. I study as long as it takes. I pay whatever the price is. Why? Because if I start counting the cost, I might quit. I might give up. I might surrender. Don't count the cost. You don't count the cost on this one. You don't count the cost on this one. You don't count the cost on this one. You just do what you got to do on this one. And then you look back when it's all over and you see the rewards. You look back and you see the accomplishments. You don't count it. You just look back and you see that you succeeded. Everybody got a dream. Everybody got a goal. What's the gap? If everybody got one, if everybody wake up at the beginning of the year and said this is their year, then why is it some people's year and not other people's year? You know why? I said it before. It don't got nothing to do with your dreams and goals. Everybody got a dream. Everybody got a goal. The question is, when you wake up in the morning, what effort are you putting forth? Everybody with a dream and a goal ain't giving 120. And some people might be giving it on Monday, but they ain't giving it on Tuesday. And some people giving it 127 days of the week, 365 days. I want you to work on your mind. For real, education is the most important thing in your life. I didn't say degrees. I'm not just talking about going to school and get a degree. I'm talking about getting knowledge. Knowledge is power. Information changes situations.
Whatever it takes to get you to try harder, read more, set your goals, and go for it. Here's the next attitude disease. Overcaution. Some people never will have much. They're too cautious. Now, you can also be too reckless, but you can also be too cautious. This is called the timid approach to life. And my caution was always the risk. Risk used to drive me right up the wall. I used to say, what if this happens? It's called the language of the poor. What if this happens? And on top of that, if this was to happen, look at the fix I'd be in. I better not try. I could always ace myself out. Then I'll tell you what changed my whole life when I finally discovered it's all risky. The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the tab for not investing. See, it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to get out alive. That's risky. The Englishman says, well, if that's the way it's going to work out, let's give it a go. Right, that's what it's for. Give it a go. Somebody says, yeah, but I'm looking for safety and security. Fine, then huddle in a corner. We'll cover you with a sheet, bring you 3 meals a day. And we'll protect you, feed you, look after you, care for you. We won't let anything happen to you. And you'll probably live to be 100. The guy said, well, yeah, I'd live to be 100. But what a way to live. Right. What a way to live, safe and secure. Don't ask for security. Ask for adventure. Better to live 30 years full of adventure than 100 years safe in the corner. And see, it's not important how long you live. What's important is how you live. Here's the next attitude disease. We're almost through with this motley list. In fact, we're almost through. Hang on. The next one is pessimism. Pessimism, the deadly disease of always looking on the bad side, the problem side, the difficult side, checking all the reasons why it can't be done. The poor pessimist leads an ugly life. He doesn't try to figure out what's right. He tries to figure out what's wrong. He doesn't look for virtue. He looks for faults. And when he finds them, he's delighted. How ugly. This is the poor guy who looks through the window, doesn't see the sunset. He sees the specks on the window. And this is the poor guy, right, who rushes up, takes such leave of his senses. This guy rushes up and he says, I've got 5 good reasons why it won't work. He's so dumb he doesn't know all he needs 1. He's got 5. To the pessimist, the glass is always half empty. To the optimist, the glass is half full. Why would the same measure affect people 2 different ways? Answer, it all depends on how you look at it. Our lives are mostly affected by the way we think things are, not the way they are. The way we think they are affects us most. There's a subject we don't have time to get into tonight called better thinking habits. One of the major things Shove taught me when I met him, he said, poor thinking habits keeps most people poor. Not poor working habits. Most people work hard, but they don't think hard. And Shove taught me that the mind is like a factory, a mental factory. And whatever you think about all day long pours ingredients into this mental factory. And that's what builds the economic, social, financial fabric of your life. He quoted me a Bible phrase that says, as you think, so you become. How awesome. When he talked about poor thinking habits, he had me. I used to start the day reading the morning newspaper. I mean, you can believe that or not. I'd get a cup of coffee and read the paper. I'd load up on wars and riots and murders and stabbings and killings and bank robberies and muggings and car wrecks and tragedies. I'd even read the back pages. I seem to like that stuff for some weird reason. I'd load up on all that, and then I'd start the day. You can imagine the kind of days I used to have. You walk around on your financial knees. They call you economic peewee. The guy says, I want to be a great leader. Wonderful. The first thing we do is follow him to his house. When we get there, we walk in and check his library, number 1. Somebody says, well, why check his library? The reason is because what a man reads pours massive ingredients into his mental factory, and the fabric of his life is built from those ingredients. You would not believe what some people have got in their house to read. you would not believe. One of the best dressed up words I know for a lot of it is trash. Can you imagine dumping a barrel of trash into this mental factory every day and coming out with a rich, dynamic, positive life? It can't be done. You might as well try making a cake with cement. The kids back in Danbury, Connecticut, high school, they're asking me questions one day. I'm talking to the kids. Kids got good questions these days. One of them said to me, Mr. Rohn, how do you build the good life? I said, it's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Here's how you build anything. Select the right ingredients, keep out the wrong ingredients, and it starts with thought. Everything starts with thought. So you must be wise and careful what you think about, because that starts everything. You got to be wise and careful. I asked the kids, what would happen if somebody dropped sugar in my coffee? They said, well, you'd be okay. I said, what if somebody dropped strychnine in my coffee? They said, well, you'd be dead. I said, correct. Lesson 1. Life is both sugar and strychnine. You gotta be careful. I said, what if my worst enemy drops in the sugar? They said, will you be okay? I said, what if my best friend, even by accident, drops in the strychnine? They said, well, you'd be dead. I said, correct. Lesson 2, watch your coffee. You got to be careful. See, it doesn't matter who hands you the bad stuff. It doesn't matter where you get the bad stuff. It'll still do its damage on your bank account, wherever you get it. Mr. Schoaf gave me one of the greatest phrases when I first met him when he said, Jim, every day stand guard at the door of your mind. How important. Stand guard at the door of your mind. And you decide what goes into your mental factory. Don't let anybody just dump anything they want to in your mental factory, because you've got to live with the results. Okay, here's the last disease, and we're through with this list. In fact, we're almost through. Hang on. The last subject is very brief. The last disease, but this one is deadly. Engage in this one, indulge in it even slightly, and you might as well forget the future, because it's going to forget you. Complaining, crying, whining, griping. A Bible word called murmuring. See, that'll ace your future. Spend 5 minutes complaining, and you have wasted 5. And you may have begun what's known as economic cancer of the bone. Surely they will soon haul you off into a financial desert and there let you choke on the dust of your own regret. I hope I said that well, so you won't forget. It's a deadly disease. If you don't think it's bad, ask the children of Israel of Old Testament fame. Typical of us all, their story just happened to get in the book. Story says, children of Israel were slaves. God performed a series of dazzling miracles and got them out. And now they're heading for the promised land. Remember the story? Heading for the promised land. Tragedy of the story, they never got there. Reason. From day one, they started to complain. They griped about the water. They griped about the weather. They whined and cried and griped about the food. They griped about the leadership. They whined and cried because it was too far, too cold, too hot, too difficult, too miserable. I mean, they whined and cried for years. Finally, God said, I've had it, trip canceled. Or something like that. The story says they died in the desert, never got to the promised land. Which I think means two things. Indulge in this long enough, you get your future canceled. And I guess it also means even God himself can only take so much. Okay. Just be on the lookout of the things that can destroy all the good you start. The war is on. And this evening, tomorrow, mentally, personally, socially, economically, you got to make sure you're winning the war. And this is part of it.